After the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. That burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
What's good, Washington Commanders fans? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports update. And you know, we talk everything Washington Commanders. You know, we still 22 days away from the draft, and we got some prospects visiting. One named Joey Porter Jr., which he's visiting the Ravens today. But I want to dive into a video that I did probably like a week ago about Chase Young, Montez Sweat possibly being traded, one or the other or both. And so this is a reaction video and a reaction video and a follow-up video also to a great YouTuber, content creator, Jared's Corner. Shout out to you, my brother. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, check it out. It's his corner, not yours. All right, so there has been a little bit of rumblings going on, and about Chase Young's 5th-year option. Should Ron Rivera pick it up? Should he play it out? The Houston Texans came to mind. You know, they got DeMeco Ryans over there. Also, they looking to be interest. Now, I actually watched today on NFL Network. They was talking about Chase Young. Well, Ron Rivera. And you know, the influx with the ownership. So you really can't make a move on Chase Young's option or Montez Sweat's contract extension until you find out, because usually the owners make that decision. So now they was able to get Deron Payne situated because Daniel Snyder, but now that the process of the bid is in for the team to be sold, there can't be any financial movement of money until after this is situated. So that leads me to believe one or two things. The way Ron Rivera talks about Chase Young, about his health, want to see him healthy, you know, want him to come back on the field, prove himself, then pick up his option. Montez Sweat is actually playing on his 5th-year option right now. Extension with him, you know, you solidify. But guess what? I think with Allen and Payne clogging the middle, Federa Mathis, Ridgeway, then you have F.A. Bottle and James Smith Williams on the end. I think you could get away with let's per se trading Chase Young and Montez Sweat, because you got to think about this. It's all about salary cap. How much salary cap can we create in the future years? Now, we only got like 2.96, I believe, right now in salary cap, and we have not created any space. If you really want to re-sign, give Montez extension, then you will have to rework a contract, Jonathan Allen's or Terry's. I'm sure they wouldn't mind, you know, but then you got to think about, if you're going to pick up Chase Young's option, 5th-year option, that's 17 mil. That's strong. Chase hasn't been Chase since the first season. He got there. Now he's been injured. Some say, hey, give him a chance. My thing is this here. Instead of getting bogged down with long-term contracts down the line, because our salary cap is almost 90 million in cap space next year, we could be well over that, well over 100 million in cap space. Because guess what? If you was to trade Um, if you was to trade him to the Texans and get the 12th pick, guess what? You could package your 16, your 12, move up to number 3 for the Cardinals and get Devin Witherspoon. That's your number 1 cornerback. Guess what? Then you can move on from Kendall Fuller, put him in the nickel, slot, whatever, have Witherspoon start opposite of Benjamin St. Jude. Boom, you got 2 young corners there. Then you also got to think about you could trade your number 2 pick, your 2nd round pick to move up in the 1st round again. You could probably get you a offensive lineman. There's tight ends there. There's a lot of plethora of tight ends that you could get, even though I don't think we're going to get this between Georgia tight end and Dalton Kennard. But from what I'm looking at, it looks like the Packers want him. So we'll see. And there's going to be a lot of movement in the draft to move up to get certain players. You got to be. This is something Washington got to understand, because they moved back last year when we all thought we was going to get the safety from Notre Dame. We all wanted him. But then we moved back. We got Jahan. I'm not mad about Jahan. I like Jahan. But I think we could have still added a key piece to our defense. Now, granted, Defoe and Curl has played lights out. So, hey, I'm good with that. But I do believe that if we're going to make a play and create longevity down the line, I'll be okay getting rid of Chase Young. Because then, guess what? You can still draft a replacement for him. Because you already got 2 replacements on the team that's young, and in their 3rd year, they're still on like a rookie deal. So you create a lot of space. You won't bog yourself down with big contracts. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Montez. There's rumor that the Chicago Bears want him. Guess what? You could get Chicago Bears picks. You know what I'm saying? Because there was rumor that Chicago Bears was really looking for Daron Payne. But we signed Daron back. Tez has played phenomenal for us. He has been good. In the 3 seasons, he has, 20-something sacks. I mean, he's been the most healthy out of the defensive ends between Chase and him. You know what I'm saying? And then when F.A. Abada and James Smith-Williams came in last year, contributed in Chase side, they racked up, about 4 sacks between them. They had 7 sacks between them. So, I mean, you got to think. And the team, had over almost 30 sacks total last year. So, what are we really talking about? Now, do I want this to happen? No, but I understand the realistic of creating the financial space down the line. Because guess what? If Washington was to trade both of these guys and get draft picks, you're going to draft your replacement to replace them instantly. You know what I'm saying? Washington will most likely they only will have 3 major contracts on this team. That's Terry, Allen, and Payne. And then down the line, the next 4 or 5 years down the line, when Payne and Allen's contract up, you can either franchise tag them or draft their replacement. Start drafting their replacement. You know what I'm saying? Because then you don't have to pay top dollar for a contract. Now, Terry, probably you will want to give him an extension. I mean, we still got Cam Curl to sign. We still got a extension with Curtis Samuel. So getting rid of Tez and Young, it won't be as a bad thing, because I think the defense will still be young enough and fast enough, to be honest with you, to be able, because like I said, Allen and Payne will command so much. That will free up guys on the defensive end. Then these guys are lateral; they can move side to side. Then you give a lot more to be able to do a lot of different things with the guys that you have on your roster. Because honestly, James Smith-Williams didn't play. I mean, James Smith-Williams is pretty doggone big. When you look at him, he's fast. He's just as fast, and he gets to the quarterback. And you gotta understand that when you draft these guys out of college to replace them, you're gonna want them to have some kind of impact, and then you can mix it up. You understand? You can mix it up. Now the defense, cause then you gotta think you're gonna solidify your secondary by getting somebody like Weatherspoon or Joey Porter, or Gonzalez. You have the option. Because if Washington really wants to get one of these top cornerbacks, they're going to have to do the smart thing. You can't trade back because you're not going to get nobody. Because you're sitting at 16. You're going to want to move up. So if Houston wants Chase Young, then entertain that thought. Give up your 16 and Chase Young for him. No, give up Chase Young for the 12. Package your 16 and your 12 to the Cardinals. Move up to number 3. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that you could do with that number 3 pick. Cornerback, tight end. I won't draft an offensive lineman first. You know what I'm saying? But then if you put Montez in that trade with the Bears, you could easily move back into the first round. And you know what I'm saying? You could get their first round pick for next year. The Bears' first round pick for next year. Then you could probably have a second. They get a second round pick. Let me check for a minute because I think it's the 46th pick. I think it's the 46th pick. I'm not sure, but. Let me see. All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, here we go. So I don't like that link either. All right, yeah. Okay. I got this one. And this is new. Okay, look, here we go. So, the Montez Sweat, like I said, he's playing on his 5th-year option this year. And if they decide to, but it's not going to really matter if they pick up his, because like I just stated in the beginning of the video, is that because of the ownership situation and the money that has to be dispersed, and the owner have to do that. Now, if they get ownership before, because technically now that Daniel Snyder potentially has a deadline of before March 22nd, before the New Year meeting comes in. So hypothetically, this is what we talk about. This is my Mark trade 2.0. Chicago Bears gives the Commanders the number 53 and the 147 pick overall. And if they was to decide to part with him and acquire these picks for this year's draft, then guess what? And the Bears, the Bears has a lot of draft capital. They have a lot of draft capital. Consider they need to upgrade their defensive line, and they get that after trading the number 1 pick to the Carolina Panthers, because for the number 9 and 61 picks overall for this year. You know what I'm saying? So Washington will have the number 47 pick in the 2nd round. They could use one of them picks to move up. They move back up in the 1st round if they wanted to. Or they could kept them picks, have a bunch of 2nd round picks. You know what I'm saying? Or they could move one of them picks down to get like another 3rd or another 4th. You know what I'm saying? Later on. But you had the opportunity, then you had the opportunity to draft not only your linemen, your offensive linemen, a tight end, a running back, your defensive end replacements. You know what I'm saying? For Chase and him. You know what I'm saying? And groom them the right way. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm thinking that, hey, and then you create a huge salary cap. You won't have a salary cap burden on these guys, because the fact of the matter is that you look at it from longevity standpoint. This is how I'm looking at it from longevity standpoint. Yeah, because if, say for instance, if we did sign both of them, pick up one option and extend the other, okay, you're gonna still have to sign Chase to a long-term deal after next year, after next year rather, because his 5th-year contract is up next year. So you extend him next year. You extend Montez this year. How much money do you think we're gonna have to tackle free agents after that? Because you gotta think our cap is supposed to be close to 90 or 100 million next year, but you don't want to burn all of that out tying them. Like I said, you could rework some contracts. Right now, don't know why Washington is still holding on to Chase Roulier or Logan Thomas. Them two should have been cut. That should have been cut right now. They should have been cut early in the season. When free agency started, we should have cut them right off the muscle. Don't know what's the purpose of holding on to them. I don't think Logan Thomas is that Logan Thomas no more. He's been injured. Me personally, I think that if they're going to do this deal, now, will Washington do this? No. I mean, I don't know. But I still feel that one of these two guys could be a play of being traded easily. I think Chase, since he was the higher pick, I think trading him to the Houston Texans and moving up to get your star cornerback and not letting nobody do that is worth it. It's worth it. Because guess what? You move up, you actually could get Houston's 2nd round pick. You know what I'm saying? You get a first package up. You could get a 1st or 3rd from them. You could a team that needs a 3rd round pick, you could move up to the 2nd round pick. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Tez. You package up some picks with the Bears, move up into the rounds. You can move back up to the 1st round and get who you want. Then you still have a bunch of picks. The Commanders only have 8 picks. They could walk away having at least 4 extra picks in this draft. Go from 8. Let me see. They could go to 8 to 12. I say more than 8, from 8 to 12, easily. They could have 12 picks because they're gonna have to package 2, the 16th and the 12th, because that's be the same pick, and they have to have a 2nd round pick, so they get an extra pick back. So it's like they trading off because they're giving out Chase Young, if I'm wording that correctly. But my thing is this here is that no matter what, they can still probably have enough picks to do the things that they want to do and still be able to have flexibility to move back up in the 1st round, in the later 1st round, or continue with the 2nd round and just knock the 2nd round out of the park. You know what I'm saying? By trading up and down the board. They could trade up and down the board easily in the 2nd round. But, like I said, it's a thought process. And thanks again for Jared, for bringing it to light, because you have to really think of this stuff. You have to really sit back and say, now some people say, Chase still young, give him a chance. But guess what? What if we keep him and we know that we could have traded him and he doesn't pan out this year? And then his 5th-year option for next year comes into play. Could we trade him next year? But guess what? Then his production for this year, if it ain't good, his value will go down. So right now that he's coming off an injury, nobody knows what he's going to be. But guess what? Somebody like the Houston Texans and D'Amico Ryan say, hey, you know what? I'll take a chance on this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a chance on him. And guess what? They take a chance on him, and maybe Chase Young comes be the Chase Young that we thought he was. But guess what? Out of that deal, remember back in the day when we drafted Champ Bailey, and, you know, because I'm a Georgia boy, you know, not a Georgia Bulldog, but I'm a Georgia boy, so I do rep teams. Champ Bailey was that dude. I love Champ Bailey. Now when we made that trade with Denver for Champ Bailey, I hated that trade. But we got Clinton Portis out of the deal. So I was cool. Now Clinton Portis didn't have them same kind of yards that he had when he was in Denver because the system was different. You know what I'm saying? So, but Champ Bailey, you know, he did well over in Denver. So it kind of like worked itself out. But if you're going to now to upgrade this unit, to get more depth, get more younger, because this is where I'm looking at it. Washington could continue to get younger and get more athletic on both sides of the ball. That's the main goal that you want to do. Because say that Eric Bieniemy does become that guy next year after this season, he's going to want to model this team the same way Kansas City. If you look at Kansas City Chiefs team, they have gotten younger, a lot more younger. Now Travis Kelce on offense is probably the oldest one there, but they have got younger on running back. They even have, you know, you see they cut Chris Jones. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get younger because it's all about continue to have productivity, continue to get faster. Look at the Eagles, for instance. They got a bunch of contracts they can't pay. They got to let some people go, and they done got older. Same thing with the Cowboys. Look at them. They got Zeke go. They trying to stay younger. This is where Washington has to continue to be ahead of the game or be in the game. You know what I'm saying? They definitely going to have to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you could extend Montez. You know what I'm saying? He could be that one cornerstone for the one side, but then you can still always replace Chase on the other side. But if you keep Chase and get rid of Montez, you're still gonna be in the same situation because you still don't know what Chase Young is. Chase Young might not be good next year. He might not be good this year. And then we took a risk. But these are the decisions that you're going to have to make at some point in time as a franchise. And a lot of people say, hey, you can't keep all. But then realistically, the way Washington is set up, they can keep all of them. There's a way to keep all of them. But then you be bogged down in contracts for the next 4 to 5, 6 years. And then when their contracts come up, the new owner, be honest with you, ain't gonna resign them. They're gonna look to trade them off. So my thing is, if you want to hit that restart button right now, especially on your defensive ends, hey, make them trades, get a lot of draft capital, build that roster up on defense, offense, continue to work it next year. Then guess what you get? And then guess what? You have a lot of cash capital next year. And if somebody is a free agent and you want to bring them in to address one of these positions, guess what? You have the money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Then you don't even have to worry about it because, like, you know what? Hey, I got the money to do it. It's all about creating flexibility for your team. You know what I'm saying? And if you're able to do that, now, me personally, like I said, I don't think Ron Rivera is so highly on Chase because I think he wanted Chase to come back some point in next year and Chase health. Now, Chase did play a few games last year at the end, but Ron Rivera keeps saying, "Oh, it's the health thing. It's the health thing." So if it's that significant right now with Chase Young, then I will look to move him now and not worry about that 5th-year option. I will look to move him immediately. Montez Sweat, you can't do nothing contract situation with him until the new owners come into place. So my thing is this here. Guess what? I already got Deron. I already got Allen. I already got Terry locked up. The only ones I got to worry about now is Cam Curl and Curtis Samuels. Hell, I'll go ahead and move Chase, move Montez, get some draft picks, and guess what? You'll have enough flexibility to sign your draft picks. You know what I'm saying? You have enough flexibility because guess what? You took their money come off the book by trading them. You don't have to worry about a 5th-year option with Chase Young, his money off the book. Then you could cut a Logan Thomas. You could cut a Chase Roulier. You know what I'm saying? That's more flexibility of money to sign your draft picks. But again, let me know what you think. I think something's going to happen around draft time, whether we do or not. Hey, but never say never. But until then, this is your boy, LiveWire. I'm out. Peace.